All right, everyone, this is it, the final podcast of the 2000s. Welcome to a world where good and evil intertwine. A world of emerald cities, flying monkeys, and a friendship that defies all odds. Today, we delve into the enchanting world of Wicked, a musical masterpiece that reimagines the classic tale of the Wizard of Oz. Wicked is a musical with music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz and a book by Winnie Holzman. Loosely adapted from the 1995 Gregory Maguire novel, the musical is told from the perspective of two witches, both Elphaba and Glinda, before and after Dorothy's arrival in Oz. The story explores the complex friendship between Elphaba, who later becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, who becomes Glinda the Good. Their relationship is tested by their contrasting personalities, conflicting viewpoints, shared love interests, reactions to the corrupt world of the wonderful wizard, and ultimately Elphaba's tragic fall. Composer and lyricist Stephen Schwartz discovered Maguire's 1995 novel Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West while on vacation and saw its potential for a dramatic adaptation. However, Maguire had released the rights to Universal Pictures, which had planned to develop a live-action feature film. Kind of like a deja vu moment, if you know what I mean. In 1998, Schwartz persuaded Maguire to release the rights to a stage production while also making what Schwartz himself called an impassioned plea to Universal producer Mark Platt to realize Schwartz's own intended adaptation. Persuaded, Platt signed on as joint producer of the project alongside David Stone with Universal Pictures. The novel, described as a political, social, and ethical commentary on the nature of good and evil, takes place in the land of Oz, in the years surrounding Dorothy's arrival. The story centers on Elphaba, a misunderstood, smart, and fiery girl with emerald green skin, who grows up to become the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, the beautiful, blonde, popular girl who grows up to become Glinda the Good. The story is divided into 5 scenes based on the location and presence, events, characters, and situations adapted from L. Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and its 1939 film adaptation. It is designed to set the reader thinking about what it really is like to be wicked, and whether good intentions with bad results are the same as bad intentions with bad results. Schwartz considered how best to condense the novel's dense and complicated plot into a sensible script. His collaboration with Emmy-winning writer Winnie Holzman helped develop the outline of the plot over the course of a year, while meeting with producer Mark Platt to refine the structural outline of the show, creating an original piece rather than a strict adaptation of Maguire's work. The book lyrics and score for the musical were developed through a series of readings. In these developmental workshops, Kristen Chenoweth, the Tony Award-winning actress whom Schwartz had in mind while composing the music for the character, joined the project as Glinda. Stephanie J. Block played Elphaba in the workshops before Idina Menzel was cast in the role in late of 2002. Designer Eugene Lee created the set and visual style for the production, inspired by W. W. Denslow's original illustrations for Baum's novels, and Maguire's concept of the story being told through a giant clock. Costume designer Susan Hilferty created a twisted Edwardian style in building more than 200 costumes, while lighting designer Kenneth Posner used more than 800 lighting designs to give each of the 54 distinct scenes and locations its own mood. Well, by June of 2003, Wicked officially opened in an out-of-town tryout at the Koran Theater in San Francisco. The cast starred Tony-winning musical theater actress Kristen Chenoweth, Tony-winning actress and original voice of Elsa in Disney's animated film franchise Frozen, Idina Menzel, two-time Tony-winning actor and original star of Broadway's How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Mr. Robert Morse, two-time Tony-winning actor Norbert Leo Butz, actress who would later have a reoccurring role as Monica Swift on NBC's Smash, Michelle Federer, and the late Tony-winning actress Miss Carol Shelley. Now, in its out-of-town tryout in San Francisco, audience reaction was generally positive, and although critics tended to compliment the aesthetic and spectacle of the show, they discouraged the book. score, and choreography. Dennis Harvey of Variety praised the production as sleekly directed, snazzily designed, and smartly cast, but disliked its mediocre book, trite lyrics, and largely generic music. Following the out-of-town tryout in San Francisco in May of 2003, which received mixed critical reception, their creative team made extensive changes before its transfer to Broadway. Elements of the book were rewritten, while several songs underwent minor changes. In making the Broadway revision, Schwartz recalled it was clear that work was to be done and revisions to be made in the book and the score. The critical community was, frankly, very helpful to us. Now, after the green light was given and an extensive retooling of the show, Wicked would officially open its doors to the Emerald City at the Gershwin Theater the day before Halloween 2003. Most of the original production team and cast members remained with the show from the San Francisco out-of-town tryout, as well as welcoming Tony-winning actor and original master of ceremonies for the 1966 Broadway musical Cabaret, Mr. Joel Grey, stage, film, and television actor William Newmans, and two-time Tony nominee Christopher Fitzgerald. The Broadway production would later be nominated for 10 Tony Awards, winning 3, including Idina Menzel winning as Best Actress. Now, Ben Brantley in the New York Times loved the production, but panned the show itself, calling it a sermon that so overplays its hand that it seriously dilutes its power, with a generic score. He noted that Glinda is such a showy role that the audience ends up rooting for her rather than the surprisingly colorless Elphaba, who is normally the hero. Despite these mixed reviews, interest in Wicked spread quickly by word of mouth, leading to record-breaking success at the box office. Speaking to the Arizona Republic in 2006, Schwartz said, "What can I say? Reviews are reviews. I know we divided the critics. We didn't, however, divide the audience, and that's what counts." Well, by September 2006, London's Apollo Victoria Theatre would be covered in green as The Wicked opened its doors to London audiences. The British production was tailored slightly for a British audience, including minor creative changes to dialogue, choreography, and special effects. A majority of them were later incorporated into all productions of Wicked, including the Broadway production. The London production not only reunited the show's original creative team, but also its original star Idina Menzel as Elphaba. The remaining cast starred Australian stage, film, and television actress Helen Dallimore, British and Australian character actress Miriam Margolyes, two-time Olivier Award nominee Adam Garcia, British stage and television actor Martin Ball, Scottish stage actor James Gillan, British musical theatre actress Katie Rowley-Jones, as well as actor, writer, and musician Nigel Planer. This production would later be nominated for 5 Olivier Awards, ultimately winning 1, an Audience Award for Most Popular Show. The West End production opened to a slightly more upbeat response. The majority of critics have appreciated the spectacle of the lavish production and the powerhouse performances of actors in the roles of the two witches, although Charles Spencer of the Daily Telegraph described it as times a bit of a mess. He praised Holzman's script, described Kenneth Posner's lighting design as magical, and lauded Menzel's Elphaba and Helen Dallimore's Glinda. Michael Billington of The Guardian gave it 3 out of 5 stars and remarked on the competence of all the lead actors. However, he complained that Wicked was all too typical of a modern Broadway musical. Efficient, knowing, and highly professional, but more like a piece of industrial product rather than something that genuinely touches the heart or mind. 2006 would bring a uniquely condensed 30-minute version of Wicked to Universal Studios Japan, starring Gemma Ricks. The show featured the preliminary storyline of Act 1, but the characters of Fiyero, Madame Morrible, Bach, Nessarose, and Dr. Dillamond were absent, with considerable changes in the show's sets and costumes. Well, by November 2007, Stuttgart, Germany would play host to Wicked at the Palladium Theater, this time renaming the production Wicked Die Hexen von Oz, aka Wicked the Witches of Oz. Dutch singer and actress Willemijn Verkijk starred as Elphaba, alongside German singer, dancer, and actress Lucy Schurer. The production transferred to Oberhausen's Metronome Theater in March of 2010, closing in September of 2011. By July of 2008, Australia was ready to welcome the Emerald City to the Regent Theatre in Melbourne. The Australian cast starred musical theatre actress and singer Amanda Harrison, actress, singer, and television personality Lucy Durick, Australian actor and singer-songwriter Mr. Rob Mills, Australian singer-songwriter and former runner-up in 2004's Australian Idol Mr. Anthony Kalea, New Zealand and Australian musical theatre actor Rob Guest, Australian stage and screen actress Maggie Kirkpatrick, and Australian actress Penny McNamee. Now, due to an unexpected death in its cast, Rob Guest, who played the wizard, died as a result of a stroke and was replaced by Australian media personality Bert Newton. The Australian production would later be nominated for 12 Helpman Awards, winning 6, including Best Musical. Now, the Australian production then transferred to Sydney's Capitol Theatre in September of 2009, starring both Australian musical theatre actress Gemma Ricks and Australian theatre veteran Pippa Grandison, sharing the role of Elphaba, each appearing in up to four shows per week. In 2013, for Wicked's 10th anniversary, the first Spanish adaptation of the show opened in Mexico City, starring singer, model, and actress not only making her stage debut, but also becoming the first youngest actress to ever portray Elphaba at just 18 years old. Now, a very special presentation was presented on NBC in October of 2018 entitled A Very Wicked Halloween, celebrating 15 years on Broadway. The special was hosted by both original cast members Menzel and Chenoweth, featuring Ariana Grande, Pentatonix, Adam Lambert, Ledisi, and the current Broadway company of the musical. Now, folks, it's important to note that since its opening in 2003, the original Broadway production of Wicked has broken the house record at the Gershwin Theatre 20 times. It regularly grosses in excess of $1.6 million each week, making it one of the most lucrative productions on Broadway. With a $14 million capitalization, the Broadway production took 15 months to break even, earning back its initial investment by December of 2004. It has gone on to break its own record numerous times, reaching over $1 million in November of 2006, over $2 million in November of 2009, and over $2.2 million in November of 2011. In the first week of 2012, the Broadway production broke its record again, earning $2.7 million. And in the final week of 2013, Wicked became the first musical to gross $3 million in one full week. Now, Wicked's productions across North America and abroad have been equally financially successful, bringing the collective gross of 7 worldwide productions to a world record-breaking $11.2 million. In June of 2007, Wicked played to more than 2 million visitors in Chicago, with a gross of over $200 million, making it the highest-grossing show ever to play Chicago. The Los Angeles production grossed over $145 million and was seen by over 1.8 million patrons. Over the 672 performances of the San Francisco production, Wicked sold over 1 million tickets with a cumulative gross of over $75 million. The success of the Broadway production has led to the development of an auxiliary show for purposes of marketing and promotion titled Behind the Emerald Curtain. Created by original cast member Sean McCourt and long-running swing Anthony Gauldy, the tour features a 90-minute behind-the-scenes look at the props, masks, costumes, and sets used in the show, and includes a question-and-answer session with cast members. The tour provides a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into putting on the show every day. Participants get a first-hand account of what it's like to be a part of the massive production that Wicked is. Now, a fun fact, to create Elphaba's green skin, 40 pots of the commercially available MAC Chroma Cake Landscape green makeup are used per year. And it's a water base for easy removal. Another fun fact, as of 2021, it has cost $800,000 a week to run the Broadway production. That's enough to buy a small island or a fleet of flying monkeys. So next time you're considering splurging on a ticket, remember, you're not just paying for a show, you're funding a small country's economy. In all, folks, Wicked was named the best musical of the decade by Entertainment Weekly magazine and hailed a cultural phenomenon by Variety. While not technically an award, the character of Elphaba was named 79th on Entertainment Weekly's list of the 100 greatest characters of the past 20 years. The biggest news of Wicked comes in the form of its first ever film adaptation, completely fronted by its parent company, Universal Studios. The movie will be presented in two parts, with part one being released on November 21st of this year. John M. Chu, the movie's director, explained that it became impossible to wrestle the story of Wicked into a single film without doing some real damage to it. So, I made the decision to make two movies, to allow for more time to get to know the characters and to not make any omissions from the source material. Stephen Schwartz, Wicked's original composer, confirmed that a brand new song will be written for one of the two films, and that the song Defying Gravity will end the first film, replicating the end of Act 1 in the stage musical, as having any scene to follow seemed hugely anticlimactic. He also stated that the decision was made to avoid cutting or omitting parts of the musical, as often happens when translating musicals from stage to screen, hoping this will be positively received by fans. And folks, welcome this newly emerald cast of Wicked. Ariana Grande is your newly appointed Glinda. Cynthia Erivo is your newly imagined electrifying force of nature as Elphaba. Ethan Slater brings a new, fresh perspective on the Munchkin Bach. Jonathan Bailey brings a fresh take on this Winky Prince, making him a Fiero to fall for. Peter Dinklage creates a Dillamond for the ages. Marissa Bode brings a fresh perspective to the tragically beautiful and complex role of Nessarose. Wicked makes her film debut as the first wheelchair-assisted actor to play the part. Michelle Yeoh brings a wickedly fresh take on the headmistress of Shiz, a force to be reckoned with, a memorable beyond expectations. And Jeff Goldblum gives a magical performance and a fresh take on the mystical man behind the curtain, a newly whimsical and enigmatic wizard. Folks, this is one movie I highly suggest you go and see because it is positively emerald. And so, our journey through the world of Wicked comes to a short end. We've explored the depths of friendship, the power of love, and the consequences of prejudice. Remember that even the darkest of hearts can be touched by light. Thank you for joining us on this magical adventure, and until next time, who can say if they've been changed for the better? But because they knew each other, they have been forever changed for good.